All right, guys. There's some activists. How you guys doing? With here. Okay, good. Were you in New York when 9/11 happened?
I was not in New York City. I was in Oneonta, New York. I was actually woken up to it. Like maybe an hour before the buildings exploded.
And where were you?
I was in Oneonta, New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My roommate woke me up, and he said a plane hit the Twin Towers. So I get up, and I look at the TV or whatever. I see the second plane hit, and then a little while later the buildings exploded. And maybe an hour after that, even though it was a surprise attack, somehow everyone was like, "Oh yeah, it was Osama bin Laden. We know what happened."
How long did it take you before you started realizing the truth was bullshit?
Well,
what they say was the truth.
It was bullshit. I kind of figured when they immediately pinpointed somebody,
right
after a surprise attack, that it was kind of just a call to war more so than a search for truth.
What about you, Glenn? How long did it take you when you first realized that something wasn't right?
Well,
take a couple weeks?
No, I got to LIHOP immediately, and LIHOP let it happen on purpose, as contrasted to make it happen on purpose. And I stayed in LIHOP for a period of time for which I'm ashamed, at least through August the 6th the next year. I can tell you I was in LIHOP because I can show a graphic I published, something about National Gross Negligence Day, and it had to do with that memo that went to Bush that, just all part of the women's hangout.
Yeah. For me, it took me about a month or so as I started listening to the stories, listening to the reports, and it started not making sense. It started, then I'd hear other people and they'd be raising questions like, why don't they address that? And they weren't. And it's like I started putting it together. I slowly took down my flag that I had put up right away. Go get it, America! And then I slowly kind of pulled that thing down and thought, what the hell? They're not telling the truth.
Yeah, for me, it was just the way that they handled it. The swiftness with which the Patriot Act was passed, it seemed like it was all just planned out.
It sure was.
I mean, that was before there was any hardcore concrete evidence aside from seeing the buildings explode in front of you.
Yeah.
I was wondering that when I just saw the one floor explode and then the whole building start popping from, on either side of either floor just all the way down. I was like, how did they just both explode from one isolated fire? And the fact that, explosions were reported in the building that day. People are screaming, the buildings are exploding, this...
Now that word's been pulled out of, we don't hear the word explosion much, not from big media. We're saying the words explosion because we heard it, and we know. We heard those words.
It was on the newscast.
We have those audio tracks saved on our computers in various places. Yeah. Well, good job.
Of course, using cookies and monsters and things, they can wipe all out anytime they want, even if you're on Linux.
You guys gonna go hang that banner up there?
Let's go do it.
All right.
Was that the same camera that they took?
Yeah, and I got it back.
Nice.
And they're not prosecuting the case, of course.
Of course.
upon the certification of the Attorney General, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't an immigrant. Then they came to enter homes and offices for unannounced sneak and peek searches, and I didn't speak up because I had nothing to hide. Then they came to arrest American citizens and hold them indefinitely without any charges and without access to lawyers, and I didn't speak up because I would never be arrested. Then they came for immigrants and students from selected countries, luring them under the requirements of special registration as a ruse to seize them and detain them, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't required to register. Then they came for anyone who objected to government policy because it only aided the terrorists and gave ammunition to America's enemies. And I didn't speak up because I didn't speak up. And then they came for me, and by that time, no one was left